Dungeons & Dragons is a game about sitting down with friends to play through a story together.
I'm a cute British lady and I'm gonna explain Dungeons and Dragons to you.
There's no board needed, just your imagination and a set of rules that bring the fantasy world to life.
Why do you lie to them? Why? There was a time when, yes, Dungeons and Dragons rulebooks did take an effort to bring the world to life. That time was under the reign of TSR. At this point, the rulebooks are created to give the players the opportunity to play Disgaea with a group of friends, or Final Fantasy Tactics, or take whatever strategy RPG applies. Players are far more interested in trying to take their integrated mechanics, work them all together to get desirable outcomes with their efforts in a way that is completely counterintuitive if one was trying to achieve some sort of simulation. D&D is a combat game at this point, and you're lying to them.
And during a game, there are pretty much just 3 steps to playing: the setup, the decision, and the result.
Yeah. There's no lie here. That's exactly how it works. That's, it's how it's worked since the beginning. So correct. A lot of people disregard this and they think, oh, it's a conversation. No. The referee sets things up, the players make a decision, and then the referee adjudicates the result. That's it. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Firstly, the dungeon master, the person who narrates the story.
Pet peeve here. Calling it a story is like saying that me getting out of bed in the morning is a story. It's an event. It's something that transpired. It's not a story until I tell it. And the act of adjudicating things is not telling a story. There is an intent behind telling a story, a willingness to impart information that people can use for entertainment or those kinds of things. Really, what the people try to say is a story is the same as me rolling, to see how many spaces I move on Monopoly. And they're saying, "Wow, that was a great narrative device." No, motherfucker, that was cause and effect. The story is about how my piece moved from that point to the next point, and how I decide to narrate that after the fact. So, story after the fact, event as it happens.
Describes the immediate environment, basically where you are and what's around you.
Yep. Moving forward, gonna skip some stuff because it's not really relevant.
Can pretty much do whatever you want. You might want to sneak past the ogre and slowly open the door. But hold fast, adventurer. Before you make this decision, you might want to check your character sheet. This is where you keep track of your strengths, weaknesses.
I like how she calls it a weakness. My character is above average in every single thing imaginable, but I mean, technically I'm not as good as a master at something in this one thing, so that's a weakness, I guess.
And everything else you might need.
Let's be clear, if you're playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, everything else that you might need is going to fall under things that you can pick for your character as just a feature of how you play the game, unless you're a complete dunce and you don't know how to prepare things adequately. There's really not much reason for mundane items, really at all. And that's kind of why I hate 5th edition.
To succeed as a daring explorer.
Ah, yes, the daring explorer that dares to go off and have balanced encounters every day and have everything back after they sleep for the night, which is rarely ever interrupted because most people don't know how to do fucking wandering monster checks or anything like that. So, yeah, they don't even know what a fucking random table is. So, daring adventurers.
Looks like you've got a high stealth skill, which means
yes, the weaknesses I spoke of. Look at that. -1s, a couple of them, very weak.
You're pretty sneaky. Maybe you'll just pull it off. Then, as the player, you discover the results of your actions. Roll that 20-sided die and find out if you succeed, fail.
This is a bit of pedantry here, but I mean, that's kind of the idea. So yeah, a natural one is not going to be an automatic failure. Just so you know, it is not an automatic failure. If you are a halfling, or if you are a rogue of 11th level or higher, or if you have some kind of other situational modifier that is increasing your chances, or if you have inspiration, or if you have advantage, which most of the time people are going to try and edge to get. So don't worry.
Or land somewhere in the middle. The higher the number, the better the outcome.
Again, a bit pedantic on my part, but the DC, roll D20 plus modifier versus DC system is not really one that has gradients built into it. So that is completely up to DM interpretation, but the way that the system is written, it's a pass-fail dichotomy. There really isn't an in-between.
So you roll that die and succeed. Then it's back to the DM to describe what happened.
Pardon me, miss, does it sound like a collaborative storytelling game? It sounds like I'm making decisions and then using mechanics to find out the outcome.
But you don't always need dice to get a result. What?
Hold on. Are you telling me that everything people say about how you can roll a nat 20 and accomplish virtually fucking anything in the entire game if you just happen to succeed by rolling a nat 20 because we have crits on skill checks? What? Am I supposed to believe that a DM can simply say that something is too implausible to even happen so there's no need to roll the dice?
This is an outrage! I wanted collaborative storytelling and you're giving me fascism!